The moment has arrived. You are on the verge of receiving a communication that carries a price few would ever be willing to pay. And should you choose to accept this gamble, you will awaken a profound strength that becomes an inseparable part of you. If you have encountered this message on October 14th, you must comprehend this fact. It is not an accident. A subtle force has drawn you here, quietly yet with clear intention. The energy of this day does not announce itself with volume. It murmurs, but those who are truly aware will perceive its message. These are not haphazard instants. They are indicators. Small, unseen signposts guiding you precisely to where you are meant to be before the next portal swings open. Not everyone will be reached by this message, for not everyone is prepared to receive it. But you are. That is the reason you find yourself here, right now, at this specific point in time. Today is far more than just another date on the calendar. It is the last deep breath before a significant transformation occurs. Everything may seem unusually still. But that silence, it is the building of pressure. The specific kind of pressure that only ever manifests right before a shift in the energy. You might detect a subtle tension in the atmosphere. A feeling that something is falling into place just beyond your field of vision. It is not disorder, it is a necessary correction. Nature always finds its equilibrium. And at this very moment, it is performing the same process for you. This is your moment of coming into sync. At this very moment, you are positioned at a tranquil crossroads, one that appears mundane but is anything but. Every single choice you make today, regardless of how insignificant it seems, is being woven into the fabric of what is to come. This is not the time to hurry, to push aggressively, or to pursue what feels unsteady. You may feel pulled in different directions, uncertain of which way to turn, but that is because the energy surrounding you is recalibrating. When the cosmos begins to adjust life's pathways, a sense of confusion is often the initial indication that a larger realignment is underway. You are not required to have everything deciphered. You only need to remain still long enough to sense which direction brings you a feeling of serenity. The incorrect path always clamors for attention. The correct one feels hushed yet deeply certain. So if you have been doubting your own judgment, wondering if you have overlooked a signal, you have not. You are simply being led to cease listening to the static. The right path does not pursue you. It waits for you to become calm enough to perceive it. Breathe. Pay close attention. Allow understanding to unveil itself without you forcing it into being. Because sometimes, the most potent action you can take when standing at a junction is to take no physical action at all. There is a truth you need to be aware of. Every single act of compassion, every silent instance of forgiveness, every time you consciously chose the light when there was no audience to witness it, it was observed. The universe maintains a record in ways human vision never could. No good deed you have ever performed has gone unnoticed. Even the moments where you questioned your own value, when you gave your utmost and received nothing in return, were never squandered. Energy does not vanish. It accumulates quietly behind the scenes. The good you put out into the world when you thought it made no difference is now circling back toward you. This is not the universe administering punishment or reward. It is achieving balance. The scales never forget. You have already sown more seeds than you are aware of. And right now, what is unseen is beginning to establish roots beneath your feet. So, if you have been feeling overlooked or invisible, remember this. The universe witnessed you when you remained kind in a moment of cruelty. It saw you when you continued to believe without any evidence. And it is preparing to show you why none of your efforts were ever in vain. Recently, you might have felt a distance from people, disconnected from places that once felt like home, or even perplexed about why certain aspects of your life abruptly cease to function. It can feel like rejection, as if the world is shutting doors in your face. But the reality is, it is a form of protection. The universe possesses a method of removing access before any harm can come near you. Not every closed door is a penalty. Some are barriers constructed out of mercy. Sometimes, silence is your safeguard. When connections grow faint, when plans disintegrate, or when people unexpectedly drift away, it is because your energy has become incompatible with chaos. You have been elevating quietly, even on occasions when you did not notice it yourself. And while that new energy is still stabilizing, the universe cannot risk interference. It conceals you in plain sight. You are not being excluded. You are being preserved. There are rooms you have not yet entered because your light would have been diminished there. There are conversations you never had because the energy was not pure enough to receive your words. Reflect on how many times you felt aggravated by a delay, only to later understand what you were shielded from. Right now, your personal frequency is being reinforced. This is a period when the universe isolates its chosen ones, not to penalize them, but to secure the conditions where their energy can fully take form. You may crave connection, but it is in solitude that your protection develops and matures. You are in an unseen quarantine, not of illness, but of sacredness. Rejection is divine redirection disguised as silence. If something or someone feels inaccessible right now, it is because their vibration no longer resonates with your own. You are being held in a waiting space until everything around you rises to meet you at your new level. Everything that is shifting at this moment, every delay, every detour, every instance of uncertainty, it is all part of a precise and intricate process. It might not appear to be alignment, but it is. The universe does not travel in straight lines. It reorganizes in spirals. What appears as a loss today often circles back as the breakthrough you never anticipated. Divine timing does not make errors. It simply waits until the moment is undeniable. You may feel as though nothing is functioning, but behind the apparent chaos, a new pattern is being rewritten in your favor. Sometimes structures must collapse so their components can be reassembled in a better configuration. What if the confusion you are experiencing is not proof that things are disintegrating, but proof that they are being reconstructed with greater strength? There are moments when you will look around and see no visible movement. That is precisely when the rearrangement is at its most active. The unseen world is shifting the variables, moving people, opportunities, and events into exact alignment. It is like a cosmic chessboard. And right now, you are not being disregarded. You are being strategically positioned. Every no, every silence, every unexpected pause is creating space for the correct yes to find you. The reason it feels slow is because such precision requires time. The universe does not rush an architecture this delicate. It carefully dismantles what does not belong, rearranges what is essential, and holds everything in balance until it fits perfectly around you. If your plans have been delayed, if communication feels unclear, if progress seems unattainable, do not misinterpret it as failure. These are the final, meticulous adjustments of divine order. The things that appear broken are simply being rearranged for your ultimate protection and elevation. Sometimes the universe will allow you to feel confused just long enough to prepare you for the clarity that is coming next. And when that clarity finally arrives, you will see why no other sequence of events could have possibly worked. There is someone, right now, thinking about you. Not with jealousy, not with judgment, but with a quiet sense of admiration. You may not be aware of it, but your strength has been creating echoes in places you have never physically been. Every time you pushed forward when circumstances felt impossible, someone was observing. Every time you managed to smile despite a heavy heart or refused to surrender, you gave someone else the permission they needed to continue. You became living proof for someone that endurance is effective, even when it remains completely invisible. People rarely inform you when you have changed them. Inspiration does not always announce its presence. Sometimes it remains hidden behind silence, behind the person who suddenly begins to improve their life without ever mentioning your name. There is someone who witnessed your struggle and decided to fight their own battles because of it. They saw your persistence, your absolute refusal to shatter, and it ignited something within them. The truth is, a light does not always realize how far its beams travel. You might think your efforts went unseen, that your quiet wars were fought in isolation, but they were not. Your growth created a ripple effect, one that is still moving through other people's lives even at this moment. The manner in which you handled your pain, your patience, your small victories, they all became a silent blueprint for someone else's survival. Real influence does not seek out an audience. It simply exists and, in doing so, transforms those who witness it. Every time you chose compassion over resentment or calm over chaos, you taught someone how to do the very same thing. Maybe it is someone close to you. Or perhaps it is someone whose path crossed with yours only once. It does not matter. You have left imprints on timelines you will never see. And here is the secret. The universe notices what you inspire, even when you do not. That energy comes back to you multiplied, at a moment you least anticipate. One day soon, you will encounter someone who reflects back the very light you forgot you had given away. That is how the universe maintains balance, by sending you tangible evidence of the difference you have already made. So, if you have been feeling invisible or undervalued, remember this. You are the quiet motivation behind someone else's awakening. They may never say it aloud, but your resilience became their roadmap. You have already been the sign for which they prayed. There is a reason your mind feels unsettled today, as if random thoughts are attempting to break through the mental static. They are not random. They are echoes. Fragments of guidance being transmitted from the version of you that already knows where this path ultimately leads. Your future self is not passively waiting. It is actively whispering. You may find yourself thinking about someone you have not spoken to in months, feeling drawn to revisit an old place, or feeling a sudden urge to make a decision that seems to defy all logic. Do not dismiss these impulses. They are not coincidences. They are signals. Gentle nudges from the version of you that is already standing on the other side of the 15th, calling you forward. Think of time not as a straight line, but as a continuous loop. Every choice you make today sends vibrations backward and forward along your timeline, adjusting everything connected to it. That gut feeling that does not seem to make sense, it is your future self handing you a vital clue. That hesitation you feel before making a decision, it is a warning carefully wrapped in intuition. You are in communication with yourself, just not through conventional words. If you feel a sudden burst of clarity, act upon it. If something tells you to wait, then listen. The guidance coming through today carries immense precision, like a code meant to align you with a version of your life that is already complete and waiting. This is why today feels charged with unexplainable emotion or a sense of urgency. You are standing at the midpoint between who you were and who you are in the process of becoming. Intuition is the language your future self uses to capture your attention. The more you learn to trust it, the louder and clearer it will become. You do not have to understand the full picture right at this moment. You just need to follow the thread. Small actions, small choices, they are all minor adjustments aligning you with a reality that is already prepared for your arrival. So when something feels magnetically right today, follow it. When something feels wrong, even if you cannot explain the reason, step back. You are not being paranoid. You are being guided. Every thought, every impulse, every flicker of curiosity you feel on this day is a breadcrumb left for you from your higher timeline. After tomorrow, things will begin to make sense, and you will realize this was not a mere coincidence. It was a profound conversation across time, conducted between who you were and who you are about to become. And it ignited something within them. The truth is, a light does not always realize how far its beams travel. You might think your efforts went unseen, that your quiet wars were fought in isolation, but they were not. Your growth created a ripple effect, one that is still moving through other people's lives even at this moment. The manner in which you handled your pain, your patience, your small victories, they all became a silent blueprint for someone else's survival. Real influence does not seek out an audience. It simply exists and, in doing so, transforms those who witness it. Every time you chose compassion over resentment or calm over chaos, you taught someone how to do the very same thing. Maybe it is someone close to you. Or perhaps it is someone whose path crossed with yours only once. It does not matter. You have left imprints on timelines you will never see. And here is the secret. The universe notices what you inspire, even when you do not. That energy comes back to you multiplied, at a moment you least anticipate. One day soon, you will encounter someone who reflects back the very light you forgot you had given away. That is how the universe maintains balance, by sending you tangible evidence of the difference you have already made. So, if you have been feeling invisible or undervalued, remember this. You are the quiet motivation behind someone else's awakening. They may never say it aloud, but your resilience became their roadmap. You have already been the sign for which they prayed. There is a reason your mind feels unsettled today, as if random thoughts are attempting to break through the mental static. They are not random. They are echoes. Fragments of guidance being transmitted from the version of you that already knows where this path ultimately leads. Your future self is not passively waiting. It is actively whispering. You may find yourself thinking about someone you have not spoken to in months, feeling drawn to revisit an old place, or feeling a sudden urge to make a decision that seems to defy all logic. Do not dismiss these impulses. They are not coincidences. They are signals. Gentle nudges from the version of you that is already standing on the other side of the 15th, calling you forward. Think of time not as a straight line, but as a continuous loop. Every choice you make today sends vibrations backward and forward along your timeline, adjusting everything connected to it. That gut feeling that does not seem to make sense, it is your future self handing you a vital clue. That hesitation you feel before making a decision, it is a warning carefully wrapped in intuition. You are in communication with yourself, just not through conventional words. If you feel a sudden burst of clarity, act upon it. If something tells you to wait, then listen. The guidance coming through today carries immense precision, like a code meant to align you with a version of your life that is already complete and waiting. This is why today feels charged with unexplainable emotion or a sense of urgency. You are standing at the midpoint between who you were and who you are in the process of becoming. Intuition is the language your future self uses to capture your attention. The more you learn to trust it, the louder and clearer it will become. You do not have to understand the full picture right at this moment. You just need to follow the thread. Small actions, small choices, they are all minor adjustments aligning you with a reality that is already prepared for your arrival. So when something feels magnetically right today, follow it. When something feels wrong, even if you cannot explain the reason, step back. You are not being paranoid. You are being guided. Every thought, every impulse, every flicker of curiosity you feel on this day is a breadcrumb left for you from your higher timeline. After tomorrow, things will begin to make sense, and you will realize this was not a mere coincidence. It was a profound conversation across time, conducted between who you were and who you are about to become. That uneasy feeling you have been trying to ignore, that quiet fear creeping at the edges of your consciousness, it is not here to halt your progress. It is here to guide you. What you are afraid of right now might actually be the very thing your soul has been requesting all along. Fear is not always a signal to retreat. Sometimes it is an invitation to ascend. The universe has a peculiar way of packaging personal growth. It never wraps it in comfort. It conceals it inside the moments that make your hands tremble, inside the decisions that make your heart pound, inside the conversations you have been consciously avoiding. The truth is, if something feels uncomfortable yet persistently calls to you, it is not danger, it is direction. Think about it carefully. Every single version of you that ever evolved was born inside a cradle of fear. You were frightened before every major leap, before every decision that ultimately changed everything. The universe does not test you by punishing you. It tests you by stretching the boundaries of your being. What you are feeling right now, that resistance, that doubt, is the outer edge of your old self trying to convince you to remain where it feels safe. But you did not come this far only to remain unchanged. You will know you are standing directly in front of your breakthrough when your excuses begin to sound perfectly reasonable. That is the voice of fear, cleverly pretending to be logic. It tells you to wait, to prepare more, to play small. But in reality, it is just trying to protect a version of you that no longer exists. Fear never truly disappears. It transforms into personal power the very moment you walk directly through it. The universe hides your next chapter behind the one thing you swore you would never do. It places blessings on the far side of discomfort so that only the truly brave will ever reach them. That is why right now you might feel profoundly torn. One half of you wants to leap and the other half wants to vanish. That internal friction is sacred. It is a sign that something extraordinary is forming just beyond what feels unbearable. You might be scared of starting something new, of ending something that feels familiar, of being seen in a more significant way than ever before. But what if the very thing you are avoiding is actually the proof that you are aligned with something far greater than you ever imagined? The universe does not hand out fear as a form of punishment. It hands it. Your energy will start to magnetize everything that matches your effort. The connections, opportunities, and results that once seemed out of reach are about to begin aligning with you naturally. And when this process begins, it will not be slow. It will unfold all at once, like a floodgate that has finally been opened. So do not slow your pace now. Do not question the process you have trusted for so long. This is the final stretch. And your persistent determination is what is actively holding the door open for your imminent breakthrough. Keep showing up, not because it is easy, but because the universe is already responding to your efforts, even if you cannot perceive the evidence yet. The work you have done in silence is preparing to make a profound noise. The energy you have invested, the faith you have kept alive, it is all about to return to you, multiplied many times over. Hold your ground steadfastly because visibility is on its way. Your effort is about to be seen, not just by other people, but by the universe itself. There is a profound reason you were meant to hear all of this today. Every message, every reminder, every strange sense of urgency, it is all pointing toward one single thing. Preparation. Not the kind that is filled with fear or chaos, but the kind that arrives with heightened awareness. The energy of October 14th is not random. It is a threshold. You are standing on the final step before the next major phase of your life begins. And the manner in which you move through this day will determine how the rest of this phase unfolds for you. Before the 15th arrives, you absolutely must pause. Truly pause and acknowledge what has been revealed to you during this time. This is not about rushing into massive changes or trying to force a transformation overnight. It is about recognizing the signs that have been circling you for weeks. The conversations that keep repeating themselves, the emotions that keep resurfacing, the opportunities that persistently appear in your periphery, none of it is coincidence. They are signals you were always meant to notice. And this is your last quiet moment to fully understand them before the momentum of the new phase takes over. Awareness is the essential ritual. Acceptance is the required action. You do not have to fix every single thing today. You do not have to possess all the answers, but you do need to make peace with what is currently rising to the surface. If something is leaving your life, allow it to go. If something feels ready to begin, take that very first step, even if it is a small one. And if all you can manage to do is sit in quiet reflection, then do exactly that, but do it with clear and firm intention. The crucial point is to meet this pivotal moment with conscious awareness instead of with distraction. The energy that is building right now is incredibly sensitive. It is akin to wet cement. Everything you think, feel, and choose before the 15th will leave a permanent imprint that will shape what comes next. That is the reason the universe has been gently pushing you to slow down and pay close attention. Every decision you make today echoes much louder than it normally would. Every word you speak carries extra weight. The universe always requests alignment before it allows acceleration. If there is something you have been consciously avoiding, a difficult conversation, a necessary apology, an uncomfortable truth, now is the time to face it with complete honesty. Clearing out emotional or energetic clutter before the 15th will significantly lighten the load you carry into the next cycle. The universe is not trying to overwhelm you. It is trying to empty your hands so you are finally able to receive what has been waiting for you. Maybe for you, this means forgiving someone who does not seem to deserve it. Maybe it means finally forgiving yourself. Maybe it means writing down what you are ready to release and burning the paper as a physical signal to the universe that you are prepared to move forward. Whatever it looks like for you, do something, however seemingly small, that powerfully symbolizes both awareness and acceptance. Even deliberate stillness counts as a powerful action when it is performed with purpose. Remember, this is not about superstition or an arbitrary cosmic deadline. It is about energy sinking itself into its correct and proper position. You have spent so much of your time simply surviving the unknown. Now, the unknown is actively making room for you. The only true requirement is that you consciously acknowledge where you are right now before you step forward into where you are destined to go. Do not drag the heavy weight of confusion into the bright doorway of clarity. Today is your day for clearing, your day for alignment. Take a deep and conscious breath, review what is currently unfolding in your life, and trust that if you can meet this day with full consciousness, tomorrow will assuredly meet you halfway. Everything that was always meant for you will begin to move closer the very moment you have fully acknowledged what is already present here and now. So, before the 15th arrives, take a definitive moment to stand completely still, to honor how far you have journeyed, to recognize what is leaving, and to open yourself fully to what is coming next. This is not the end. This is the quiet, potent moment just before the acceleration begins. One day in the not-so-distant future, you will be engaged in something completely ordinary. You might be driving your car, scrolling through your phone, or lying awake in the middle of the night, and this day, October 14th, will suddenly come rushing back into your awareness. You will not be expecting it. It will simply strike you like a sudden flash of understanding that was not available to you before. Something that felt small or meaningless today, a passing conversation, a sudden and unexplained emotion, even a random thought that briefly crossed your mind, will finally click into its rightful place. And you will realize with absolute certainty that it was never random. It was the beginning of something significant. The present always hides future meaning in plain sight. Today might seem uneventful on its surface, but the energy surrounding it is deeply layered. Every single moment you have lived through today has been a thread being quietly woven into a much larger tapestry. Maybe it was that specific song you could not get out of your head. Maybe it was the person who came to your mind for no apparent reason. Maybe it was the persistent feeling that something fundamental was shifting, even though nothing in your external reality looked any different. All of it was deliberate placement. It was divine choreography working in perfect silence. The universe does not shout when it sets things in motion. It plants seeds on days like this one, in conversations you almost ignore, in emotions that do not make logical sense until much later, when they finally do. What is happening today is the kind of profound alignment that cleverly hides in plain sight. It is the kind that does not reveal its true purpose until you have already walked a few steps past it. And when its full meaning unfolds later on, you will look back and think to yourself, I should have known something was uniquely different about that day. You were drawn here for a powerful reason. You heard these specific words because they are an integral part of that alignment. Not to tell you explicitly what is coming, but to prepare the part of you that will instinctively recognize it when it finally arrives. You do not need to search for signs anymore. You are currently living inside one. Every thought you have entertained today has been a bridge connecting who you are now with who you are in the process of becoming. And although you cannot perceive it yet, the energy you have set in motion at this very moment is already actively shaping what is next. Life's most powerful shifts never announce themselves with fanfare. They unfold in quietness, and it is only in hindsight that we truly realize their immense weight and significance. This is one of those moments, the kind you will look back on weeks or months from now and understand, with perfect clarity, that it was not just another day. October 14th was not a coincidence. It was a timestamp, a quiet but indelible marker placed squarely between your endings and your beginnings. So pay exceptionally close attention to the smallest of things tonight. The subtle ways you feel, the faces you happen to see, the words that stick in your mind for no discernible reason. Because later, when something new finally arrives, when the thing you have been patiently waiting for begins to take its definitive form, it will all trace back directly to this day. October 14th will return to your memory not as an ordinary date, but as the precise moment you were silently rerouted onto your true path. And when that profound realization finally hits you, you will understand exactly why you were led to this exact message at this exact time. Because this was never just a video or a simple text. It was the signal that arrived just before the shift. If you are still watching, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and wish to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is deeply and genuinely appreciated. Feel free to share your personal experiences or reflections in the comments section below. Until next time, take good care of yourself and subscribe for more insightful content.